Hi, everybody. Uh, I mean, hello. And I've got this hat on. So, a couple of things. Number one, thank you for your support of Indie Agency News. Yeah, you can see the background's a little funky. I'm actually not in Portland right now. This would be the second thing. I'm actually in London right now. So, I've had a chance to meet with some great people while I'm here. And if you happen to be watching, you happen to be in London, give me a shout. I'm here. I feel like a comedian. I'm here all week. Um, and I will be here until the end of the week and into the weekend. So reach out to me on LinkedIn, and very excited about some things that we have coming up and some things that we're working on behind the scenes. A reminder to you as well that um, our next honor coming up is Business Development Leader of the Year. So if you go to indieagency.news, and let me just double check to make sure that the menu actually worked, because I've been working on trying to get things on. Yes. So if you go to indieagency.news, you can click on honors, and that will take you right to the page. And as a reminder, in fact, let me screen share here. Let's just do this on the fly, shall we? I really like it. So here we go. Here we go. So we're going to start at the front end here, and yeah, we changed this so that you can see a little bit more about what we got going on. So more around our values and philosophy. So you click on honors, and then you will see that we have all of the honors, all 12 of them, right here. You will see all of that. We've already had Producer of the Year, Project Manager of the Year. We are looking for business development leaders. We are looking for those people in biz dev who really make it happen. We know that biz dev is the lifeblood of our industry and of agencies. I'm starting to sound very political here. I just felt like I was giving a speech. But seriously, Business Development Leader of the Year, once you click on that, you'll see it's a very, very, very easy form. We just kind of go through this thing and and then there you go. So you start with a picture of Mount Hood. So there you go. There you go. Let's see here. We're talking Indie Work Live today. Let me see if they have their yeah, they don't have their titles. So Jeff just put his first name. So we're gonna do this on the fly. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doug, great to see you.
Jeff Benjamin.
You want me to edit it? You want me to edit it?
No, it's okay. Hold on. So, Chief Creative Officer, right? CCO.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Dooley Thomas. Hold on. I think I got this one right.
President.
What would you be like, Dooley, if you were Dooley Thomas?
There you go. There you go. Is that right? No?
I think if it was going to be GOAT, Jeff would be the GOAT.
How about this? How about that? No, I'm kidding. I know. President.
Especially with the Tombra school. Right. Roll Tide is a no-no.
No, and you know what? Before we get started, I wanted to ask you about that. Tell me, because I know that it's been going for how long now? You made such a great investment in the University of Tennessee.
Yeah, we launched it March of last year. So in a way, we're like 2 years in, but in a way, at the speed that education moves, we're almost in like year one. And the case study is already crazy because we had to recruit the Tombras professor, and so she didn't even start until January. And then she is just now going around the state recruiting at the flagship inner city high schools. So the first real cycle of it isn't until fall 2024. But the crazy thing, even though we're not like all the way into it, the whole program, I believe, has grown over 30%. The number of advertising minors has increased 300%. And the number of BIPOC students has increased like 40%. And we have increased the diversity of the staff and hired, I think, about half a dozen BIPOC professors and instructors. And so it's sort of unbelievable, the momentum in the case study, even though we're sort of in year two, but we're still sort of in year
no, I get it. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. And we'll probably be in touch with you about that. So one of the other hats I wear besides Arsenal, as you can see, is I'm an adjunct at Portland State University, which is a minority serving institution in Portland. And there is a new staff there, and yeah, the students definitely are coming from a lot of different backgrounds. And what excites me the most is that we have an opportunity as some of the old guard to instill the right education in terms of the practice of what it is that we do, but also let this next generation of really talented, diverse talent get out there and really make it all happen. So good on you. Good on you. I'm glad that things are going well. I know, Jeff, you got the fire alarm centered right above your head. It looks really good. It's a good look. It's okay. It won't distract me. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just kidding.
You're live. Special for your audience.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
so we're live. What's going on? We're live somewhere.
Yeah, we are live on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did you think I was kidding? Did you think this was like some sort of okie doke? Was this? You thought this was some sort of okie doke that I was going to pre-record this and do a bunch of editing? No, there's only like 2 of us running this thing. So you think I got time for that?
Yeah. I love it.
I'll tell you what we have time for. That's called a professional broadcast segue. I'm going to start with this, and then we are going to talk about a couple of things.
I'm telling you, that is not my voice.
What the f? That wasn't me.
Looked like you.
No, that's not the truth.
It does feel a little bit like gaslighting.
Those words did not come out of my mouth.
Obviously, there's a little confusion right now.
Not me. How many times do I have to repeat myself?
Why don't you have a seat right there? Basically, I'm going to ask you some questions about what it's like being a vegan. Then you just got to answer honestly.
I feel like being vegan is a pretty big part of my identity.
It shows that I'm a moral person.
I have a tattoo right here that says V for vegan.
I would never consider eating meat again. Sometimes I get disgusted watching people eat a steak or a cheeseburger.
If you want to eat it, you can eat it.
Right. Oh, wow.
Very tasty, 10 out of 10.
This is amazing. That's really good.
Do another one.
I've missed meat so much. I could never go back to being a vegan.
I might be addicted to meat at this point. It's so good.
When I see someone eat a salad, I just feel sorry for them.
Meat is moral. I believe this world would be a better place if more people ate real meat.
I truly believe that meat can heal the rift in this country.
This is a completely vegan cheesesteak. It's made with a tofu meat substitute. This is just like straight.
A day without meat is a bad day.
Everyone knows I love meat.
I'm proud to eat meat every day.
Eating meat is the most important thing in the world to me.
That's great.
Hey guys, come on in, have a seat. So I'm going to show you a video, and then I'm going to ask how it makes you feel.
This is basic science. Humans were made to eat meat. My body feels more capable when I eat steak. Just look at how much meat is on this thing.
I'm not ashamed to say sometimes I even daydream about different kinds of beef and pork. I even have an M tattoo that stands for meat. I really mean that.
Meat is like a religion for me.
Wow.
I've been sneak eating meat for months now. What the f? That wasn't me.
That's not what I said.
I think it's up.
I mean, I was confused because I thought you were a vegan.
Yeah, I am.
But that's not what you said on the video.
No, that's not the truth.
We'll agree to disagree.
That's identity theft. Point blank.
Those words did not come out of my mouth.
Everyone just watched this, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
Sounds like you love meat.
It's not me. I told you that. How many times do I have to repeat myself?
I'm telling you, that is not my voice.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
What this focus group was actually about was showing how deepfake technology can impact everyday life.
I've never heard of deepfake.
Now I'm questioning everything.
So I thought of it like, oh, this is only a thing that like people in the public eye have to worry about. Like I never considered the fact that my face could be used in a deep fake, and that's That's pretty frightening.
This could be life-threatening.
Oh, they can get whatever they want out of you.
So many people are quick to believe what they see and hear off the bat without doing any research, to where this can literally start wars.
I think in this next election cycle, it's going to be insane what we're up against.
Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Hold on one second. I hear something outside. Oh yeah, it's the awards machine firing up. Okay. What I will say though is like, you know, a little levity, because it was just, you know, it's one of those things where this is very, very serious stuff, but I want to start on the you seem to be on the cheesesteak beat, by the way, with Zaxby's and this. So by the way, which is from somebody whose family is from suburban Philadelphia. Please, more of that. Can't wait to see what you do at Cheese Whiz. But let's start with, I mean, Jeff, just take me through the brief and where it went from there.
Well, it was less as a brief, and it was more that well, I can't. All I can see is myself. Where everybody else go?
Yeah, no, we're there. Yeah, this is professional broadcasting, Jeff.
Yeah, very good at creative. Not good at live broadcasts. You know, I think that we had been working on this brand for a while now, and even before we worked on it, it sort of been establishing itself as a brand that was not just going to be made of something that was 100% real, but we were going to stand up for 100% real. So that's sort of the overall, you know, brief in a sense for the brand. And then somebody, I don't even know who, came up with the name Deep Steaks, and it was just sort of sitting around, and we said, you know, rather than like almost like an insight or anything, let's just start with this name. It's this great name, Deep Steaks. And we briefed a bunch of teams, and then we started looking at the ideas, and I don't know how this one came about, but.
Well, the name Deep Steaks, Jeff, came about too because we saw deep fakes popping up in culture, right? And so got an iconic platform and strategy like 100% real, that gives you permission to go push against anything that's fake that pops up in culture. And deep fakes were bubbling up everywhere. And so I think part of the genesis of it too, Doug, is that, you know, Steakum is an honest, hardworking brand. You know, they're real, literally, like Jeff said, with the rational product, but they're 100% real with everything they do. They're a bunch of straight shooting, you know, people from Philly. And when deep fakes were popping up, that was an opportunity for Steakum to get in, because all the conversation on deep fakes had been around celebrities and world leaders. And at the agency, we were sitting around going, golly, the danger here is for everyday people. You know, our chief technology officer, Juan Tubert, was showing us how you could do crazy deep fakes just with off-the-shelf technology very quickly. And so that's when we said Steakum's got to get in on this. And like Jeff said, sometimes you start with a great idea or a great name. We had the name Deep Steaks, and then it was off to the races from there.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make something that was going to quickly get people to care about the potential of and deep fake, you know, like to trigger it, you know, and because there's enough work out there that's just sort of videos that nobody's going to care about. We wanted to make something that somebody saw and they were going to be like, have sort of a visceral sort of connection to it and be like, wait a second, what's this? You're deep faking vegans?
Right. And I think that, you know, looking back at some of the work that Burger King did, for example, with, you know, some of this, and this, I don't want to say this is stunty. It's much more involved than that, but there is, you know, there's been some work in the past that has made some really great points and also attached to a particular issue. So you know, I think that sometimes those can come across they're important and they're impactful, but for whatever reason, this one feels different to me. Did you have that discussion about some of the previous work, maybe from other brands that you saw, or was there at least some discussion about that?
Well, I think part of it, and Jeff, tell me if you agree, is that like this is a serious topic. It's serious work, but it would not be on brand for Steakum to do something that was all serious and somber, right? There's got to be a wink There's a lot of humor to the Steak-umm brand. And I think that's one thing that's so cool and interesting about this work is it's not comedy. It's not pure comedy work. It's not pure shock stunty work. It's not pure emotional gut-wrenching purpose work. It's a combination of all of those things. And that was something that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean,
that is it is balanced. Yeah, it's really well balanced.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, what's the difference between a stunt, you know, and a powerful brand action, you know,
Right.
or an activation?
Right.
And I
It's a
think
thin line.
there's a difference, you know, when it has like intention behind it, that's got a little bit of like credibility. Like, you know, we presented ideas sometimes to a client, and they're like, you know, Jeff, like, what right do we have to do this? You know, and I think that the difference here is that Steak-umm has been working for years in the space of standing up for things that are, you know, standing up for being 100% real. And I think that's why it sort of transcends being just sort of a stunt and being something really intentional.
No, I get that. I get that. How did you sell it through? Because that's always the thing is when I talk to creative leaders, especially in the indie space, some of the things that I hear, and Jeff, you've had, you know, years of experience in selling through work. In this particular instance, how did you sell through the work in this one?
Well, Jeff's got a saying he taught me, Doug, which is that you don't sell great work, right? Great work happens because of trust. And
That's fair.
And we are really fortunate that we've got a brave client that trusts us a lot at Steak-umm. And I mean, having said that, it still wasn't quote unquote easy to sell this, right? You know, the client had to get on board, and it's a balance, right? Because the client wants to sell product, but they also want to do good in the world. And you know, they had to weigh both of these. And then after some really thoughtful discussions about it, they said, you know, we got to do this because deep fakes are having a moment in culture right now. Regular people do not understand the threats on it. Steak-umm has permission to come in and have this discussion, and we stand for 100% real, and we're going to make the world a better place doing this. And even though it's an unbelievably soft sell, we're going to make more people aware of the brand. There's going to be more brand love. They're going to remember that when they're going down the freezer.
Right.
And we're probably going to sell some more frozen beef out of this. And then they got on board with the idea.
Yeah. There's an equation, Doug. Trust equals frequency over time. And I think that, you know, Dooley, you can speak to like some of the past things. This isn't the first time you know, we've done an activation with them where we sort of stand up for being real. You know, this has sort of been, you know, we've been building towards this over more than a year. I mean, Julie, talk about a little bit of this.
To that point, Jeff,
talking about these things.
The client was on the fence, literally, of like, should we do this idea or not? And Vice President of Marketing, Max, I remember him saying, he said, you know, and this is the other idea I'm going to bring up, Doug, was a silly idea. It was not a purpose thing, but we did a big activation last year that was sort of art imitating life, I guess, where consumers were calling Steak-umm beef sheets on social media and then making fun of it. And then we just decided to own it. And we started talking about beef sheets on Twitter, and everybody laughed. And then we had this idea at the agency. We said, okay, well, if we literally make beef sheets and everybody laughs about it, what if we made actual beef sheets? So we made queen-sized beef sheets that looked like Steak-umm beef. We did a photo shoot at the agency.
Julie, what about the university?
Well, I'm going to finish the beef sheets thought, because the client bought that idea, and they literally told me at the time, they're like, this is silly. This is ridiculous. Is anything going to happen with this? And the next thing you know, Jimmy Kimmel did a skit about it, and it got all of this media nationally. And Steak-umm saw a sales spike out of it. And they said, my gosh, well, if you can get us into culture and get earned media out of making beef sheets, then we ought to listen to you and trust you on this too. And then
interesting.
And then to your point, Jeff, you know, about frequency over time, you know, that gave us some credibility when we saw misinformation making its way into the metaverse last year. And every CPG brand was clamoring to figure out what their metaverse activation was. And they really had no permission to be in the metaverse, and they didn't have an idea. And we found a great way in last year around the election where we did the Metaversity of Steak-umm, and we built an online university in the metaverse to school the metaverse on misinformation. And the stats on it were crazy. Very few people go to the metaverse, by the way, but an insanely high percentage of people that visited the metaverse actually went to the Steakum Metaversity and took our like 15-minute online misinformation course there. And we got a lot of media out of that. And so to Jeff's point, you just build trust over time with these activations.
Yeah.
I think Mark Zuckerberg might have been in the metaverse. I think I've heard something where he was in the metaverse for something. Might have been there.
He enrolled. I mean, we're incredibly lucky that we have a client that sort of bought into this thought. There's this great saying actually from a meta person, some programmer, I can't remember his name. Brands are tools to help humanity scale. And they've bought into that thought. And they've got their sort of one thing that they've figured out that like, this is how we want to matter and connect with people.
Mm-hmm. What logistically, walk us through some of this, because I know that in reading about the background on this, and a reminder, after we wrap this up, we will be posting this on the site. We'll also be sending you to the coverage. I think it was Adweek and Ad Age both had some coverage on this. But as I understand it, because a couple of things, you got to move real quick. This can't be, if you're doing a focus group, you can't just sort of let it linger. So talk about some of the logistical challenges behind it.
It was probably about the biggest logistical challenge I've ever seen from a production standpoint, Doug. And I will protect the name of this individual because he might not want to be on the record complimenting us. But I got a text from a chief production officer of one of the holding companies. And his exact when he saw the work was, he said DeepSteaking was a creative and production miracle. I mean, Jeff, talk about your old friend Chad Hoppenwasser and Juan and how they pulled this off for us.
I mean, like one of my favorite shows back in the day, the A-Team. These comedians wanted by the law all had different superpowers, would inevitably find themselves locked in a garage with a toothpick and a fridge, and somehow they had to turn that thing into a tank. And it's only because these people with different superpowers came together and elevated themselves to operate a level they can never operate alone. So you've got Chad here, master of production. And I mean, this guy, like production, there's a reason sometimes why these things haven't been done before. It's because they're impossible. So he's taken on this impossible thing. Then you've got Juan, Mr. Technology. He's taken on something impossible, and it was just so fun to like be in this room with those guys. Legal was an important part of this as well. Creative, all there together, kind of working to figure this thing out, and it wasn't easy. And they kept running into walls, and we had choices to make. How are we going to do the deepfake technology? And it was really important early on that we stayed authentic to what anybody could kind of do with off-the-shelf tools in 10 minutes. There are other ways to do deepfakes that are even better, but they require acting doubles and things like that. But we wanted to stay true to what anyone could sort of get their hands on and just do in 10 minutes.
And that's a really key point, because I think that the one thing as you're thinking about the awards entries and things like that, it has to be demonstrative of what is real. And I think that it could have been very easy to say, we did all this deep fake technology, but it took us forever. But the fact that you moved at such pace, because that's what I would say. And Jeff, you've been in those judging rooms. Julie, you've been in those judging rooms. There's going to be some level of cynicism, which isn't a bad thing, or skepticism is probably the right word. So there's always going to be a kernel of skepticism. In my mind, the fact that this to me is one of those kickers where it feels like that's the thing that wraps it in is, no, you don't understand. This took us 10 minutes and anybody can do this in 10 minutes. And it feels like that's the thing that I mean, it's credible enough as it is, but then from credible to incredible.
And then, I mean, just adding to that, Doug, and thank you for saying that, with the director, Jason of Borat 2, is the director on this thing. So we were in a room with the director. We're watching the focus groups live, basically, as the vegans are seeing the reveals of the deep fakes. And there was this crazy, roller coaster of emotions where first they were shocked, then they were mad. And then they were kind of like mind blown and happy to be participating in this social good thing at the reveal at the end. But literally the director was feeding comments into an earpiece into the moderator, who was the only actor involved on this, basically to poke and provoke the vegans to get better responses out of this. So it was a really neat production to be a part of.
Julie,
the moderator,
take us. Oh, go on, Doug, and I'll ask.
I was just going to say the moderator had a little bit of smarm to him.
He did.
Yeah.
He reeked of smarm.
I don't know what that means, but we definitely wanted him to gaslight them a little bit.
Yeah.
There was Julie, take us back to the tense moment of unknown. You're sitting there, you've convinced the client to do this thing, but you don't know if these vegans are going to sign the contract.
Well,
sign the release. Yeah.
No, because you can't sign the release before, because then they know what the thing is.
I know.
You got to wait till after.
Know.
And so, there were two giant things that were unknown, right? Along with how we were going to do this, there were two giant things that were unknown on the set, right? One, are they going to care? We don't know, right?
Right.
Two, are they going to be okay with this?
Right.
And
did you have a backup plan? Did you have a backup plan?
What happened?
No, the backup plan. The backup plan would have been So I mean, a Herculean, lift by legal and business affairs, because basically you do all this.
Yeah.
You've just tricked the vegans. You've just made them mad, and then right after they're mad, you go, "Hey, by the way, here's the second waiver that we need you to sign so that you can actually do this video." But I think it speaks to the purpose angle of this, right? I'll never forget. There was one woman in the video that she was very upset, and she said, "I don't know what y'all are doing here, but this had better not be used. I'd better not be used in an advertisement." And then literally 5 minutes later, we do the reveal that this was not, a focus group about Philly cheesesteaks. It was a focus group about the dangers of deep fakes, and it was brought to everybody by Steakum. And she's like, "My gosh, this is an amazing thing that y'all are doing. I want to participate in it." And she signed the waiver. So literally 100% of the vegans actually ended up signing the waivers and participating, which was pretty cool.
Right. Tricking the vegans. I'm going to workshop that off Broadway. I had vegan sushi yesterday, by but
How was it?
Really good. Really good.
It's deep fake, kind of deep fake sushi.
But no, it was really, really good. And actually, I've been dabbling a little bit more in the space. I'm more of a flexitarian.
Right.
Not gonna lie, I had steak last night. But yeah, I feel like that conversation is really interesting in that vegetarianism, veganism I'm much older than both of you, but it seems so niche. And then I like that the conversation around healthier eating over the past 5 years has become less combative and more cooperative. And to your point, Dooley, the fact that a meat company managed to rally people who choose to be vegan, pretty powerful statement, I have to say.
It's provocative.
Yeah. So what's next?
Well, we went to the desert of New Mexico, and we brought in alien experts for Moon Pie. And I'd better
very excited about this.
I better not say so much, but we've got a banger coming out here in about a month.
We're you know what? The government has tried to do their part. Experts have tried to do their part. Tombrus has taken it upon itself to find a way to get these aliens to come out.
Experts that testified in front of Congress about UFOs may or may not have been in an undisclosed location.
Okay, just shut up. No, stop it. No. I don't want you to reveal too much, because we're going to save it for when it launches.
We'll save it. That's all we can say.
It better be indie work live. It better be indie work live worthy, because this certainly is. And you saw us kind of celebrating and banging on the Zaxby stuff. So we're going to go for the 3-peat. We'll go for the 3-peat on indie work live. Yes. No, but I love that. It's playful.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the award thing. Like, to be honest, like for me, it's like the thought that we can wake up in the morning and get to make this, like, think of these ideas and then go make these things. Like, to me, that's what makes it all worthwhile. You know, like
I
there are
don't
people who
disagree.
are
So
getting up and they've
right.
got to
So
go be a
where
lawyer, or they've
right.
got to, like, I don't know what, but
Right.
like,
Or a business affairs person at an
yeah.
agency.
Feel that.
Speaking of lawyer, but here's what I'll say. So I've long said this. I believe that recognizing each other is important. And I think celebrating is important. The work that we do is incredibly challenging. It's incredibly tense. It's incredibly high stakes. And it's often completely misunderstood. So to be able to go in and be recognized for a job well done, a reward, the award is the reward for a job well done. I'm all for that. Now, there is the issue of the cult of awards. Not a fan of that. But what I am a fan of is knowing that you have done something that maybe that junior producer got a chance to work on, and they can say, yeah, I was part of that. I was part of that. To me, that's when you start looking at the entirety of the credits list. That to me is really meaningful. I got it when I was at Adweek. I met I forget his name, but he had won a bronze, and Griner had written something. Okay, but he had Griner wrote something about the work that he did, and I went over to talk to him. And you could just tell he was really young, but he was really excited about the fact that the hard work that he had done had really put him in a really great place. And so I think it's great. So to your point, I get it and I agree. But I do believe that awards are a reward for a job well done. And I look forward to seeing what you will take home with this.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, so we got Moon Pie. What else? Come on, one more.
We got an unbelievable campaign for the Special Olympics that is coming out later this month, and it is going to be time.
That's going to be great. Follow up for Zaxby's. That's going to be good.
Oh boy.
Got something fun for Casey's.
So I'll tell you a fun one. So Jeff just mentioned Casey's.
I got a wall now where I'm like keeping
we handle Casey's, Doug, which is the #3 convenience store in America. But what a lot of people don't know, if you don't live in their footprint, they're actually the #5 pizza restaurant in America. So it's a massive creative opportunity where we are selling gas station pizza, which happens to be some of the best pizza in America. And we've got some big new orders about to break too.
Yeah, I remember gas station pizza when I was in college in the late 80s and early 90s. Usually happened at about like 2 a.m. Yeah, so may or may not have involved weed. All right, gentlemen, love having you on. Really love this work. Congratulations. Excellent work. And also an excellent point made about AI and deepfakes. So I'm gonna toss you guys backstage to wrap it up. Hold on for me. And to everybody who was watching today, thank you very much. Indie Agency News is designed to be a majority, as in like 90 to 95% member-led. We would be grateful if you would consider a membership. There's lots of good stuff that we would like to create with you and with our corporate partners and our individual partners. Go to indieagency.news, take a peek around. You can always get in touch with me, Zanger, ZANGER, at indieagency.news. On behalf of all 2 of us running this thing, I'm Doug Zanger. We'll see you next time.